I'm your host, Emily Mikowski. We have another great show lined up for today. We're going to go ahead and get right into our first segment. I have Larry Meads here to tell us all about the Memorial Day reading of the names over at South Park. So first of all, Larry, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, and you're here today to tell us about a very special ceremony that takes place on Memorial Day, and that is the reading of the names over at South Park. So
Correct.
Before we get into the details, first off, what time is the reading of the names ceremony?
It starts at 7 o'clock and will last about a half an hour. So people will have time to get over to the Riverside Park for the laying of the wreaths, and then following that will be the procession out to the cemetery.
Wonderful. And for those of us who don't know or have never been to this ceremony before, what is all involved in the reading of the names ceremony?
The major part of it is the actual reading of the names. People are invited to come up, and I've grouped the names of the people who've died in groups of 10, and people are invited to come up and they will read their names aloud, and the next person will come up until all the names are read.
Okay. And it's kind of just a very somber event.
It is. You know, it's there to honor those men who gave their lives for our country, for you and I. And I count myself in that, although perhaps more as a survivor of military service. But nonetheless, they deserve to be honored, and in my mind, they have not been in recent years.
Definitely, and so it's a great opportunity for us to recognize them and take a quiet moment to think of
Indeed.
them. And this is all part of a big day of events and ceremonies and things happening on Memorial Day. Over at South Park is where this will be. Where exactly is this memorial?
It's right there on the corner of 11th Avenue and Ohio Street.
Okay, and so people are welcome to come out and just join the festivities.
Absolutely. They don't necessarily have to come up and read the names, but just the fact that they are there is a way to show their respect for these men and to honor them and to remember them.
Okay, and so the people that their names are going to be read, they're from all branches of the military?
They are from all branches, and I even include the few, gratefully, the few names that don't have a monument yet, who have died in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Wonderful. Is this monument, are there still names being added to it, or is this more of a...
No, these are pretty much set, unless there are remains that have been uncovered and they are no longer considered missing in action, but killed in action.
Okay.
Obviously I can't say how many more that might be, but pretty much it's an established number right now.
Sure. And how did this event come into existence? We had talked about it a few months ago when we decided that you were going to come in and tell us, but where did this all come from? Huh? We want the story.
For many years when I was a working guy, I would drop by South Park at the memorials on my way for breakfast, and I would read the names aloud to myself and offer a salute in honor, and then I would be on my way. And it slowly began dawning on me that nobody was doing it. Nobody else was honoring them, remembering them. So when I retired, it kind of became a mission for me to organize something. And as it turned out, nobody else seemed to want to do it. So I just sort of grabbed the bull by the horns, as it were, and started putting it together. It's grown a little bit. I want to try and keep it short so that I don't step on the toes of the other events.
Yes.
But I do it to honor these men. They deserve to be honored. That they haven't been is a shameful thing to me.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes people could say that the whole reasoning behind Memorial Day is starting to fade a little bit.
Yeah. It seems all too many people look upon it as a 3-day holiday weekend, a chance to get away, to make a small trip with the family, and I don't really see a problem with that. But the purpose of the day, going back to right after the Civil War, was to honor the fallen comrades, and veterans were encouraged to come up and lay ribbons and flowers on the graves of their fallen comrades.
Definitely. And for you, you're a former service member as well. What does Memorial Day mean to you?
Boy, throw a hard question at me. Quite frankly, as I was younger, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention because, like most veterans, you come back, you get out of the service, you want to get back involved in life again, you want to go to school, get married, have kids, raise a family, have a home, get a decent job, all of those things. So your focus is more there. And then as I've gotten older, I've come to feeling that if nobody's remembering these things, then there's something wrong. And I wanted to try and correct that.
Well, you've done a wonderful job of getting this event organized and kind of getting it out there into the public so that people are aware that it's going on, and they build that into part of their day on Memorial Day.
I would hope so. And it's getting better. This is the 5th year, and last year I had a high number of about 25 or 30 people show up.
Okay.
Which to me doesn't sound like a lot, but to me that's a lot of people, especially that early on a Monday morning.
It is early on a Monday morning, but it's definitely worth it, and we very much hope that that number will continue to climb in the years coming too. So once more, if you could just recap again when, where, and the location.
Okay, it's in South Park at the corner of 11th Avenue and Ohio Street. There is parking on 11th Avenue and additional parking in South Park itself.
Wonderful. And we're going to pray for good weather too, so you're not standing out there in the rain.
You know, I've been very fortunate, so I hope that will continue.
Well, you're going to get it this year, Larry. So thanks so
Emily.
much for joining us today and telling us all about it. We'll see you out there on Monday morning.
Thank you, Emily.
All right.
Oshkosh Today was supported in part by the Friends of OCM. And Aurora Healthcare, 855 Northwest Haven Drive. Set design provided by House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard. Oshkosh Today.